Chapter 91 Three Places. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Liuyan's next practice was still step by step, and he was not affected by Wei Zhen's breakthrough and became impatient. In these 3 days, he first practiced the body once, and then spent more time getting familiar with the control and use of real fire, integrate real fire into purple lightning and volleying fingers. In this way, his fist power and finger power not only have the power of thunder and lightning, but also the power of fire, making it even more lethal. As for electricity and fire, their attributes match very well and they can be combined well. He can now hit the enemy with one finger or a punch, causing the same damage as the Sun Bao. But Yi Liuyan was not satisfied with this. The effect of the purple lightning crazy thunder fist is okay, but for the volleying fingers, the effect is too bad. He wants to concentrate more of these true essences. If there is a way, the strength will be weak. The effect he wanted was to just make a hole directly. Otherwise, the effect will not be much different from that of boxing, and the damage area will not be as large as that of Zidian Quanlei, so he condensed his true energy again and again, focusing on one point of attack. After many attempts, he finally achieved satisfactory results. He has not fallen behind in the cultivation of his soul. Real fire was also added to the tempering of the soul sword. As soon as the current soul sword is released, Yi Liuyan is confident that he can kill the strong man at the 9th level of true essence. As for the sea transformation realm, he still doesn't understand how powerful the souls of people in that realm are. But it's probably possible to influence the other party's actions. However, this trick has been used as a trump card by him and he will not use it easily. In addition to the purple lightning cage, he also practiced the purple lightning whip. At present, the purple lightning has not yet mastered the power of real fire. But even trapping the opponent and then beating him with the purple electric whip has accelerated the torture of the enemy's soul. It used to take 3 breaths to consume the opponent's soul so much that he was unable to fight, but now it only takes 1 breath. Of course, this is just looking at it from the outside. In the world of Shenhun, several hours have passed. It's just that every time Yi Liuyan wants to integrate the power of real fire into the phantom pupil technique, he feels that his eyes can't bear it, so he doesn't dare to use too much force now, and can only look forward to the endurance of his eyes after the immortal hegemonic body breaks through to the 5th level. Has seen an increase. Yi Liuyan continued to practice until Wei Zhen's celebration party started, and then rushed over. He didn't want to sit there too early, but it wouldn't be good to go too late, so he rushed over as soon as possible. Entering the main hall, everyone was almost there. I've met the prince. Congratulations to senior brother Wei. Yi Liuyan walked up directly, greeted the prince, and congratulated Wei Zhen for his breakthrough. King Tianyun and Wei Zhen also greeted him politely and asked him to sit down. Yi Liuyan looked at Wei Zhen and saw that the aura on his body was indeed at the 9th level of true energy. The true essence of this realm is almost twice as powerful as the 8th level of true distance, but his spiritual consciousness also keenly felt that the fluctuations of the true energy in Wei Zhen's body were very unstable, sometimes strong and sometimes weak. It seems that he really improved with the aid of elixirs. However, he did not underestimate Wei Zhen's strength because of this. Although the realm is unstable, the true essence is indeed at the 9th level of true essence. Moreover, Wei Zhen was able to leapfrog the challenge. Now in the entire palace, except for the prince, I am afraid that no one can overwhelm him. Moreover, Yi Liuyan also felt the power of his blood this time. In the past, maybe his bloodline wasn't strong enough, or Wei Zhen's bloodline wasn't strong enough, so he didn't feel it. It seems that this bloodline pill is still very helpful to him. Yi Liuyan thought to himself. However, the awakening level of Wei Zhen's bloodline was obviously not as high as his. He estimated that the maximum was less than 10%. It seems that Wei Zhen has great potential to develop. During the entire celebration banquet, Wang Yi and Wei Zhen were the protagonists, attracting everyone's attention. Countless words of praise and all kinds of honors came to them. Of course the prince was very proud. When his disciple became successful, he also became proud and proud. He placed all his hopes on Wei Zhen. The other disciples have become Wei Zhen's foils, setting off his protagonist's halo. Song Yi, Li Yuanqing, and Li Mingxi looked a little unnatural. However, Yi Liuyan didn't care. He should eat and drink when he should. This banquet was originally held for Wei Zhen, so of course he should be the protagonist. While others were busy making friends, he kept his head down and ate hard. Only when someone came over to toast him would he get up and give a perfunctory gesture. When the banquet was over, only the prince and the 5 saints were left in the hall, and even the palace guards disappeared. Yi Luyan realized that the prince might have something to say to them. King Tianyun also went directly to the topic at this time. I have 3 places in my hand to enter the north branch of Xingwu Academy. Although it is only a branch, it is much better than my county prince's palace. Now we are still far away from the entrance examination. There is half a month. In 5 days, the 5 of you will have a competition to compete for these 3 spots. As soon as he said this, Li Yuanqing's face was the ugliest. He is the weakest among them. Although Yi Luyan is of low level, his combat power is strong. He couldn't beat Song Yi and Li Mengxi either. As for Wei Zhen, he didn't even have to think about it. Li Mengxi's expression was not much better than Li Yuanqing's. But it wasn't like she had no chance at all. In fact, the prince did not consider the feelings of these people at all. In this world, the strong is respected. If you are not strong enough, then you can't blame others for their dirty looks. He simply wanted to see how strong these people were, so that he could have an idea before going to the Holy Martial Academy. As for the rest, he didn't need to think about it that much. He only knew that Wei Zhen would definitely win a spot. Wei Zhen also vowed immediately, "Don't worry, Your Majesty, I will definitely fulfill your wish and enter Xingwu Academy." The prince also smiled and nodded. "Of course I am confident in you. You are the most talented disciple I have seen in all these years. I believe that you will shine after entering Xingwu Academy." Then he told them, "In the competition in 5 days, you must do your best. Before leaving, let me see your strength. You should also prepare in the next few days. After going to Xingwu Academy, you will not come back in a short time." "Yes." Several people agreed and left the hall together. But Wei Zhen said to them, "I am looking forward to fighting with you to see if you can break through my body protection true essence." As he said, his whole body of true essence surged, and a layer of true essence enveloped his whole body. And after he used the power of blood, that layer of true essence was like a black armor, covering him. With this layer of body protection true essence, it is probably difficult for others to hurt him. Yi Luyan did not expect that true essence could be used in this way. He had the immortal body skill, and now he had a piece of treasured clothing for defense, so he never thought of using his true energy to protect his body. Only then did he remember that someone did use true energy to protect their body on the battlefield. He was busy fighting at the time, and didn't think about it carefully, thinking it was a problem with their skills. Only now did he know that true energy can be used in this way. Song Yi, Li Mengxi, and Li Yuanqing's expressions became even uglier at this time. Wei Zhen smiled, and then left directly, leaving the few people looking at each other. Chapter 92 Breaking Perfection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Song Yi smiled bitterly at Yi Luyan and said, "This guy is still the same as before. He doesn't care about other people's feelings when he speaks. Junior brother, don't take it to heart, //NCOM he wants to inspire you to have a good fight with him. This guy is just a martial arts fanatic." Yi Luyan was thinking about the true energy body protection at this time, so he casually agreed, "Yes, I will do as he wishes. Senior brother and senior sister, I will go back first." Song Yi thought Yi Luyan had been shocked, so he weakly advised, "Just get used to it." A few of them are actually already used to it. With Wei Zhen, they are destined to be green leaves as foils. Yi Luyan didn't pay any attention to his words and went back to study the true energy body protection. No one else would have thought that Yi Luyan would start researching true energy body protection at this time. Yi Luyan had broken through to the 4th level of true essence, but they didn't know it yet. He is covered by the secret method of spiritual consciousness. When he is not fighting and does not emit breath, others cannot tell. True fire and true essence body protection are things that those with relatively high cultivation talent start to practice after the 7th level of true essence. So they naturally didn't expect Yi Luyan to start practicing true essence body protection so early. However, this true energy body protection is not difficult for Yi Luyan, the Shenyuan Qi refining technique he practiced was able to integrate the true essence into the physical body. What he has to do now is to release his true energy. What he needs to practice now is to become familiar with this method and release it evenly and steadily. Instead of focusing on the hands like an attack, it explodes instantly. At the same time, when using the true essence bodyguard, it cannot affect your own attacks. This can be regarded as stealing a move. Otherwise, there would be no such move in his skills. The main reason is that his physical body is too strong and he doesn't need the real energy-consuming defense method of real energy body protection. It's just that he feels that this move can also have other functions, such as antivirus, anti-insect, anti-fire, waterproof, etc., and it will still be useful with practice. Moreover, after using the true essence bodyguard as a defense, others will ignore his immortal hegemony, giving him a chance to catch his opponents by surprise. When he thought of this, he worked even harder to practice true essence body protection. True essence body protection consumes a relatively large amount of true essence. But this had no impact on Yi Luyun. His Qi is 10 times that of ordinary people, his amount of real energy is frighteningly abundant, and his conversion speed of spiritual energy is also fast, so he doesn't care about this consumption at all. There are still 5 days left. Even if he knows he is defeated, he must try his best. This is not a matter of competing for ranking, but Yi Luyun's determination to practice martial arts. During these 5 days, everyone was stepping up their practice, especially Li Mingxi. She has seen Yi Luyun's strength before, but she has no confidence in defeating Yi Luyun. So her main competitive target is Song Yi. Yi Luyun had fought with her on the border and had a good impression of this senior sister. Especially Li Mingxi returned and fought desperately with them. So he gave Li Mingxi all the elixirs that the prince gave her. Although Li Mingxi didn't say many words of gratitude, she still kept this kindness in her heart. Yi Luyun's soul sword, phantom eye technique, and bloodline power are not suitable for display here. He will not use them easily in the future and will use these moves as his trump card to save his life. As for the Ba Dao Ju, its lethality is too great, and it is not suitable to be used to compete with brothers from the same sect, so in the past 5 days, he practiced the body once, and then used the body-protecting true essence and the volleying fingers or purple lightning at the same time, integrating the true fire into the true essence attack, and performing the volleying technique at the same time, especially the volley fingers. It was originally a set of earth-level mid-level skills. After being integrated into the space power by him, Yi Luyun estimated that it should be able to reach the level of heaven-level mid-level skills. 5 days passed by in a blink of an eye. Yi Luyun and the other 5 people all came to the palace hall on time, ready to compete for the 3 places. In fact, the 4 of them, Yi Luyun, competed for 2 spots. Wei Zhen will definitely have a spot. The prince was in a good mood when he saw that several of them had improved. He said to several people, "Show all your skills and let me see your strength." Wei Zhen was the first to appear. Just when everyone was thinking about who was going to fight Wei Zhen said, "You guys come together. Don't worry, I won't hurt you." Several people had ugly expressions. This guy really doesn't care about other people's faces. A strong person is a bull. Yi Luyun thought to himself. At the same time, he didn't show any pretense and stood up directly. When the others saw it, they had no choice but to spread out and prepare to fight the enemy together. The prince was even more happy when he saw it. The stronger Wei Zhen is, the more worthwhile his efforts are. At this time, the aura of the 9th level of true energy in Wei Zhen's body suddenly emitted, and the black body protecting true energy surged all over his body, covering his whole body like armor. At the same time, he used the black water vortex move, and the true energy surged out from his palm, sweeping like a vortex in the water. However, he did not attack them, but defended them. Everyone else also used their own tricks to attack Wei Zhen. Only Yi Luyun's movements were slightly slower. His phantom eyes were observing the flaws in Wei Zhen's black water vortex. His consciousness is powerful and can slow down his opponent's movements. Although it is not effective against an opponent that is too strong, it is enough to give him more reaction time. Suddenly, he struck out suddenly and stabbed Wei Zhen's wrist with all his strength. There was a less obvious gap there, which Yi Luyun keenly captured. Moreover, his finger actually crossed the space and arrived in an instant, avoiding most of the attacks of the black vortex. So when this guidance arrived, the power did not weaken much. With a chi sound, he passed by Wei Zhen and punched a small hole in the stone pillar behind him. At the same time, everyone's attacks also came down, but they were all swept up and swallowed up by the black vortex, without affecting Wei Zhen at all. Just when everyone thought there was nothing they could do to Wei Zhen raised his right hand and raised his sleeve. There is a pair of holes on it. Song Yi and others were shocked. Although it was only a small hole, it did not hurt Wei Zhen. But this is enough to show that Yi Luoyun can break through Wei Zhen's defense and hurt him. You know, Yi Luoyun's level is the lowest among them, but they have no way to deal with Wei Zhen. Wei Zhen felt secretly resentful at this moment. He originally thought that he could leave a perfect show for the prince before leaving. Unexpectedly, Yi Luoyun's appearance shattered his idea. Wei Zhen has always been arrogant. How could he allow Yi Luoyun to break his body-protecting essence? But now everyone has stopped trying. If he attacks Yi Luoyun again, he will be suspected of bullying others. He could only say, "Yes, you can hurt my clothes. When your level improves, we can fight again." He could only wait for Yi Luoyun to reach a higher level before defeating Yi Luoyun, so that Yi Luoyun could know that Wei Zhen was the only one who was the strongest. Okay. Yi Luoyun was neither humble nor overbearing. After a while, we will see which one is stronger and which one is weaker. Yi Luoyun was actually quite happy to have such a powerful opponent. There is motivation only when there is pressure. Wei is really powerful, which will only make his goals clearer and more motivated. Sooner or later he will defeat Wei Zhen and then surpass him. Chapter 93. The county was attacked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. King Tianyun is actually very satisfied with Wei Zhen's strength. One person fighting 4 people alone only got a hole in his clothes. As for Yi Luoyun, he didn't expect his progress to be so rapid. After the fight just now, the prince judged that she had reached the 4th level of true essence. What a pity. His bloodline is a bit weak. Otherwise, his understanding and qualifications would be even higher than Wei Zhen's. He thought to himself, but he still praised, "It's all good. Wei Zhen won 1 place with 1 against 4. You can compete for the remaining 2 places." Immediately, Yi Luoyun, Song Yi, and Li Mengxi and Li Yuanqing started fighting each other. Yi Luoyun only used 3 punches to make Song Yi shake his head and admit defeat, because he used both the body-protecting true essence and the true fire. Whether it was defense or attack, Song Yi was no match for him. After Song Yi admitted defeat, he exclaimed, "The body-protecting true energy and true fire. These are things that can only be cultivated at the 7th level of true energy. You are really a monster." Li Mengxi also defeated Li Yuanqing not long after. When she faced Yi Luoyun, she immediately admitted defeat. Yi Luoyun has real energy to protect the body and real fire. How can she fight? She couldn't even defeat Yi Luoyun when he was at the 2nd level of his true essence. Now that Yi Luoyun was at the 4th level of his true essence, she was no match for her. Why not save some energy and compete with Song Yi for the last spot? At this time, Li Yuanqing also lost to Song Yi without any suspense. The last spot was decided between Song Yi and Li Mengxi. At this time, both of them were very nervous. One careless move may throw away a life-changing opportunity. At this moment, all Yi Luoyun was thinking about was how to break Wei Zhen's black water vortex just now. It should be possible to break it with a knife and the power of blood, but it won't hurt him. If you add the magic pupil technique or the soul sword, it should be able to hurt Wei Zhen. However, my level is still far behind, so I have to work harder. He must at least reach 2 more realms before he can barely compete with Wei Zhen. In the center of the hall, Song Yi was preparing to fight Li Mengxi. Suddenly there was a noise outside. Song Tao rushed in from outside and reported, "Prince Qi, a large number of martial arts cultivators of unknown origin are attacking the west wall of the county city. The golden armor guards are on their way to intercept them." When Yi Luoyun and others heard this, they all looked at each other. How dare someone attack the county? This is incredible. King Tianyun frowned and said in a deep voice, "I'm afraid this is a conspiracy of the Zhou royal family. It seems that they are going to make a big move this time. I would like to see what tricks they have." Then he ordered, gather all the palace guards and golden-armored guards to prepare to meet the enemy." As he said that, he personally led a group of saints and palace guards and rushed to the city wall. When they arrived, they found that the Jinjiawi was fighting with the martial arts warriors who were attacking the city. Yi Luoyun saw from a distance that a giant palm holding the sky was shooting at a group of golden-armored guards. With a loud boom, all the golden-armored guards under his palm were crushed, and even a gap was opened in the city wall. The man in blood robe who issued this palm looked in the direction of King Tianyun with an evil smile, obviously demonstrating to King Tianyun who had just arrived. When he slapped the palm, a huge roar caused the people participating in the battle on both sides to temporarily stop. When the Jinjiawi saw King Tianyun coming, they also gathered around him. The palm of the blood-robed man just now is enough to show that he is a strong man in the sea transformation realm. They don't dare to attack rashly now. Just a brief confrontation caused them heavy losses. These martial cultivators who attacked the city were dressed in blood-colored robes. There were about 1,000 of them, but they were powerful. It's far beyond what these golden-armored guards can handle. King Tianyun couldn't help but feel worried when he saw it. He then asked loudly, "Who are you? How dare you attack Tianyun County?" That the man in blood robe who had just taken action let out a weird laugh. "I am Xianxia, the elder of the great Zhou branch of the blood demon sect. I have brought some outer disciples out to practice. We can fight wherever we want. There is nothing we dare not do." Blood demon cult. King Tianyun couldn't help but change his face when he heard these 3 words, and asked, "I have no enmity with your blood demon sect. Why did you attack us?" "Because we are stronger than you." "What's the reason?" Chen Xian's eyes were full of teasing. Everyone also changed their colors after hearing this. Yi Luoyun asked Lu Wei next to him, "Senior, what is the background of this blood demon cult?" Lu Wei also told Yi Luoyun with a cautious look, "This blood demon sect is also a large sect, with the same strength as the Holy Martial Academy. The strength of its branches is also equivalent to the branches of the Holy Martial Academy. It's just that its extreme behavior has been criticized by everyone. It is classified as an evil sect and has been fighting with Xingwu Academy for many years." Yi Luoyun was not calm after hearing this. These are just the outer disciples who are assigned to the helm, so how strong must the chief helm of the blood demon sect be? Such a behemoth came to attack a county. Yi Luoyun couldn't figure it out. But King Tianyun suddenly asked, "Your Excellency, was invited by the royal family." Chen Xian, who was opposite him, was also startled, and then smiled and said, "He is indeed a prince. He is quite smart. But you still cannot escape death today." After that, he waved his hand, and the more than 1,000 blood-robed martial artists rushed forward again. "Fight!" King Tianyun also gave the order, then rushed towards Chen Xian and fought with him. The scene suddenly exploded, and various attacks could be heard. Especially the battle between the 2 powerful men in the sea transformation realm was so intense that the world was shattered. No one dared to get close to them. The aftermath of a single impact can shatter a martial artist in the true Yuan realm to pieces. This was Yi Luoyun's first time to watch the battle of the sea transformation realm powerhouses so close. The aura they exuded alone could make people tremble with fear. Yi Luoyun's phantom eyes stared closely at the movements of the 2 of them, trying his best to capture the trajectory of their shots. It's good to learn a little bit from the battles of sea-changing realm masters. "Blood slaughterer!" Chen Xian shouted loudly, and slapped King Tianyun with a huge palm filled with blood mist. King Tianyun transformed his true essence into a sharp sword, and cut the blood mist's palm with one sword. Is this the form of true energy in the sea transformation realm? The power of this palm and sword has exceeded the limit of human beings. The surging true energy in it made Yi Luoyun feel his own insignificance and powerlessness. However, he could no longer think too much at this moment, as a blood-robed martial artist at the 6th level of true energy had already rushed over him. Yi Luoyun hurriedly recovered his mind, glanced at the martial arts cultivator, and instantly imprisoned him with the purple electric cage of the phantom pupil technique, and at the same time whipped him with the purple electric whip. From the outside, it seemed that in just one breath, the martial artist fell to the ground, his face pale. Yi Luoyun then drew out his dragon-slaying knife and chopped off his head with one blow, and then looked at the other martial artist. At this time, the battlefield was in chaos, and no one paid attention to how he defeated his opponent. Yi Luoyun specifically picked out martial arts cultivators at the 6th or 7th level of the true essence, taking the opportunity to practice his own phantom pupil technique. His spiritual consciousness is powerful and he can avoid strong people with higher realms and try not to attract the enemy's attention. Wei Zhen, on the other hand, specifically targeted martial arts cultivators at the 9th level of the true essence. He fought vigorously and became the focus of attention on the battlefield. With his realm of the 9th level of true essence and the explosion of bloodline power, the opponent only has one martial artist at the peak of C transformation. With the cooperation of the other 2 martial arts cultivators at the 9th level of true essence, he can barely draw a tie with him. The other palace guards were also targeted by the opponent's masters and were fighting one after another. Chapter 94. The County King is defeated. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As expected of a big sect, these disciples are not simple. Yi Luoyun's consciousness swept the whole scene. He found that most of the outer disciples of the Blood Demon sect were at the 6th to 9th level of the True Yuan, and there were very few at the 5th level of the True Yuan. The scene was completely dominated by the Blood Demon sect. Even Song Yi and Li Mengshi had to fight against a disciple of the 8th level of the Blood Demon sect, not to mention the other golden armor guards, who were fighting against one disciple. Lei Ming on Yi Luoyun's shoulder was also ready to move, but was stopped by Yi Luoyun. Today's matter is not that simple. If the dynasty wants to destroy the county city, I'm afraid the other party has masters, not just these few people. Don't be impulsive, so as not to attract the attention of the other party's masters. Lei Ming's big eyes turned, and complained, every time you fight passionately, I just watch. But she still obediently lay on Yi Luoyun's shoulder, her big eyes looking around at the situation on the opposite side. Over there, Chen Xian was fighting with King Tianyun while observing the battlefield situation. Seeing that many of his disciples had died, he couldn't help but feel anxious. If too many people died, he was afraid that he would have a hard time explaining when he returned, so he shouted to the distance, "How long are you going to see? If you don't come out, I'm leaving." King Tianyun heard this, and his heart moved. His hand stopped and he looked into the distance. In the distance, a man slowly walked out. This man was about 27 or 28 years old, with clear eyebrows, a handsome face, and extraordinary temperament. The aura emanating from his body was much stronger than that of the prince. When Yi Luoyun saw his clothes clearly, he couldn't help but feel moved. From Shengwu Academy, the clothes on this man were exactly the same as Lin Shuiying, whom he had saved. They were all blue uniforms with gold patterns embroidered on the cuffs. The young man flashed, and he didn't see how he moved, but he had already come to King Tianyun. Li Tianyun, long time no see. There was no respect in his words, but a hint of ridicule. As soon as the words fell, the man waved his hand, and a whirlwind of true energy enveloped a palace guard beside him. Stop! King Tianyun shouted, but before he could make a move, with a thump, a palace guard of the 8th level of true energy fell to the ground, his body covered with wounds, and he became a bloody man, and fell to the ground and died. Even Yi Luoyun's phantom pupils could not see how he killed the man. It felt like a blink of an eye, and the palace guard fell to the ground and died. Everyone on the field took a breath and looked at the man in green shirt in horror. So the prince's full name is Li Tianyun. Yi Luoyun didn't know his full name until this moment. When he found that the expressions of others didn't change, he reflected that he was the only one who knew the prince's full name now. I am not qualified to be the Holy Son. Kong Wei, as a disciple of the Holy Martial Academy, you actually colluded with the Blood Demon cult to attack the county city. King Tianyun stared at the man in green with a burning gaze, obviously not wanting to give up. I didn't attack the county city, I just passed by. Master has just broken through to the Yuandan realm recently. I came out to greet you on his behalf. Kong Wei said casually, without even looking at King Tianyun, but looking at Wei Zhen. What? He actually broke through to the Yuandan realm? How could this be so fast? For a moment, King Tianyun seemed to be a little incoherent, and it seemed difficult for him to accept this fact. Everyone could hear that King Tianyun and Kong Wei, as well as the master behind Kong Wei, must not have a good relationship. When Yi Luyan heard the 3 words Yuandan realm, his heart was also moved. That's a realm higher than the Huahai realm. I wonder how strong people in that realm are. Are you the holy son named Wei Zhen? Kong Wei no longer paid attention to King Tianyun, but looked at Wei Zhen with a smile. Suddenly, his figure disappeared from the spot, and Wei Zhen, at this moment, only felt a strong wind coming, a terrifying pressure, which made his true energy flow poorly. Although he resisted with all his strength, he was still knocked away by Kong Wei's palm and spit out a mouthful of blood. Stop it! King Tianyun shouted angrily and slapped Kong Wei with one palm. That palm was like a real big palm, clearly visible. Kong Wei threw Wei Zhen behind him, waved his hand easily, and a whirlwind greeted the giant palm. With a loud bang, the earth was cracked into a huge pit more than 2 feet deep. Then the 2 of them kept fighting, and the sound of bangs was endless, and the aftermath of the fight between the 2 made everyone dodge in a hurry. If they were caught in the air wave, they would be skinned if they didn't die. With a loud bang, the 2 of them separated quickly. King Tianyun stepped back a few steps, blood oozing from the corner of his mouth. Looking at Kong Wei again, he fell lightly, and his clothes were not even wrinkled. I haven't seen you for a few years, and your cultivation has not improved. I really don't understand why the great Zhou dynasty has to spend so much effort to deal with a waste like you. Kong Wei stood with his hands behind his back, smiling. You. King Tianyun's face was pale, and his body swayed, and he almost fell to the ground. The prince actually lost. Yi Luyan was shocked. Everyone couldn't believe that their prince couldn't beat a young junior. He was the number 1 in the 9 counties of Tianyun. He was easily defeated by Kong Wei. How strong is Kong Wei? Everyone stood there, at a loss. I'm afraid that none of them could match Kong Wei. Your Majesty! Song Tao shouted, guarding the king. Yi Luyan and everyone else were also ready to fight. Yi Luyan even prepared the soul sword, but at this time, no one noticed that his thunder dragon ran away quietly with a purple card in its mouth. Don't even move. King Tianyun pushed Song Tao away. At the same time, he warned everyone that no one should take action. At this time, if you go up there, you will die. Kong Wei's strength is not something they can defeat with just a large number of people. He was alone, standing in front of everyone. At this moment, King Tianyun's body was still trembling slightly, obviously struggling to hold on. Looking at his back, Yi Luyan was still a little moved. Although he has always been wary of King Tianyun, the fact that he can protect them at critical moments at least shows that he is still very responsible. Kong Wei laughed, his figure flashed, and he ran towards King Tianyun again. Kong Wei took action as soon as he said so fast that Yi Luyan didn't even react. At this time, a figure suddenly rushed towards Kong Wei and blocked King Tianyun. Wei Zhen! No! King Tianyun screamed, but it was too late. Wei Zhen was knocked away by Kong Wei's palm. King Tianyun flew to catch him, but saw that Wei Zhen's whole body went limp and collapsed in King Tianyun's arms. Wei Zhen had completely passed out. There was not a single intact bone in the entire body, and the sea of qi was shattered, turning him into a complete waste. Everyone stayed there. Even Yi Luyan's impression of Wei Zhen has completely changed at this moment. I didn't expect that a person who is usually very arrogant would give up himself for the king at a critical moment. Chapter 95 Disappointment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But Kong Wei was calm and composed at the moment, looking at King Tianyun and several other saints with a hint of ridicule. 520 official website. While Yi Luyan was shocked, he also had a deep yearning for Kong Wei's strength. This is the advantage of being strong. One person can deal with a group of masters calmly. Even people like the prince can't do anything to him. A disciple can defeat the most powerful people in 9 counties by himself. The disciples are so strong. How powerful is that holy martial academy? Kong Wei's voice sounded again. I'm afraid you saints still don't know that my master, Saint Xianxia, is the elder of Xingwu Academy and the uncle of King Zhou. Do you think King Zhou will make King Tianyun stronger? So if his holy son enters the sect, I can guarantee that he will end up like this Wei Zhen. After he finished speaking, he glanced at Yi Luyan and the others. The threatening meaning behind his words made Yi Luyun and the others feel chilled. Calm Wei, you must die a happy death. King Tianyun roared angrily. At this moment, Yi Luyun and others showed helplessness and intolerance in their eyes. They knew how much effort King Tianyun put into Wei Zhen, but at this moment, his most precious disciple has become a useless person. I'm afraid no one can bear this kind of blow. Calm Wei's eyes were full of cruel smiles. Li Tianyun, master asked me to give you a message. You are destined to be a dog of the Zhou royal family in your life, and you will never rise. Your most beloved woman was snatched away by the king of Zhou, and you took it for granted. The proud disciple has now become a useless person. Pfft. King Tianyun was so angry that he trembled all over, spit out a mouthful of blood, and almost fainted. These words echoed in the minds of Yi Luyun and others, making them feel endless chills. This Saint Xiantian is cruel enough. Killing can only be done with a nod of the head. What kind of hatred needs to be so heartbreaking? The Zhou royal family has gone too far to seize their wives and destroy them. Yi Luyun was instantly disappointed with the Zhou royal family. Previously, there was the 9th prince and the North King who threatened and assassinated, and now there is the blood demon sect, the Xiantian saint and this vicious Kong Wei who has crippled Wei Zhen. What kind of things have the great Zhou dynasty gathered together? Fortunately, I once went to guard the border for the great Zhou dynasty. It is unimaginable what kind of humiliation King Tianyun has endured over the years. Even his most beloved woman was taken away by King Zhou. And the talents he worked so hard to cultivate were easily discarded by the other party. Although he had not been the holy son for a long time, he had no feelings for King Tianyun. But he still has humanity. If possible, he would definitely help King Tianyun seek justice and let someone else manage the great Zhou dynasty. However, it's not over yet. Opposite them, there were 1,000 blood demon cult disciples watching eagerly. At this time, Chen Xian, who was opposite, laughed loudly and said, I didn't expect it, I saw a good show. King Tianyun, today is the death anniversary of your golden armor army. Kill me. Following Chen Xian's order, the disciples of the blood demon sect rushed forward again. Yi Luyun and others were also filled with indignation. Kill. King Tianyun roared and rushed towards Chen Xian, who was coming to kill him, and stood with him. All the golden armored soldiers also roared in unison, knowing that they were outmatched, but they still charged forward without hesitation. Kong Wei also came to kill King Tianyun again. He did not take action against the other saint sons. Their level is not good enough, they are not as outstanding as Wei Zhen, and he is too lazy to take action against those little kids. The Jinjiawi were worried that the prince was fighting 1 against 2, so they all stepped in to stop him. Many people were slapped into bloody mud by Chen Xian before they could even rush to him, but the disciples of the blood demon sect were laughing and enjoying the pleasure of killing. Boom! A golden armored guard rushed to Kong Wei and blew himself up. Boom! 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 Immediately afterwards, golden armored guards rushed forward and blew themselves up. Although they were no match for Kong Wei, they used their own flesh and blood to defeat his defense. After a wave of self-destruction, even Kong Wei was so embarrassed that he flew to avoid it. He wanted to take the opportunity to attack King Tianyun, but was repeatedly blocked by the self-destruction of the Jinjiawi. Yi Luyun saw Qi Xiong, the 7th Palace Guard, and Lu Wei, the 8th Palace Guard, standing in front of King Tianyun one after another, using self-destruction to force Kong Wei back. Boom! 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 From other battle circles, the sound of the Jinjiawi's self-destruction also kept coming. If you can't beat it, you'll explode. The golden armored guards are using their own flesh and blood to defend the reputation of this army at a heavy price. Yi Luyun was also infected by the golden armor army's fearless mood. The blood in his body was released, and all his sword intent was unleashed. When he saw the blood-robed disciples, he would cut them open. All those below the 8th level of true essence were cut open by him like pieces of paper. Near the city wall, flesh and blood flew everywhere, and blood flowed into rivers. Seeing the palace guards blowing themselves up one by one, King Tianyun's eyes were about to burst. The royal family of the great Zhou dynasty is going too far. Unfortunately, he was seriously injured before and could only barely deal with Xianxia, and no longer had the energy to deal with Calm Wei. Now he just wants to get rid of Xianxia as soon as possible, and then deal with Calm Wei. At this moment, the disciples of the Blood Demon sect, facing the life-threatening golden armored guards, no longer dare to rush over. They are not like the golden armored guards who regard death as death. Nearly half of the disciples of the Blood Demon sect were killed by Jin Jiawei's crazy self-destruction. At this moment, he was far behind Xianxia, King Tianyun, the palace guards, and the ordinary golden armored guards are all working hard at this moment. Of the more than 20,000 golden armored guards, there are currently only more than 5,000 left. There were only 4 palace guards left beside King Tianyun. This brutal battle was like a meat grinder from hell, harvesting lives crazily. Xianxia was still frightened when he saw such heavy losses on his side. I didn't expect this group of ants to be so stubborn, so he changed his strategy and said to King Tianyun, "King Tianyun, do you really plan to kill all of you golden armored guards?" King Tianyun swept across the battlefield stained red with blood, his eyes filled with sadness. He also doesn't want his soldiers to die because of him again. This Blood Demon sect was obviously invited by the Zhou royal family to deal with him. As long as he dies, the royal family will only recruit these soldiers and will not embarrass them too much. He sighed helplessly and was about to give up resistance. Wait! Yi Luyun stood up with a sword in hand, with a thunder dragon beast squatting on his shoulders, followed by an old man wearing the clothes of an elder of Wanbao Pavilion. The old man's aura was so deep that even Qianxian's eyes twitched slightly when he saw him. It turned out that Yi Luyun had just asked Lei Ming to bring his Zika to Wanbao Pavilion for help. With this purple card, Wanbao Pavilion can take 3 free shots. Senior, please take action to resolve the crisis in the county and city. Yi Luyun saluted the old man. King Tianyun and everyone else looked at Yi Luyun and the old man inexplicably, wondering what he was up to. The old man couldn't help being frightened when he saw such a tragic scene, and felt sorry for the golden armored guard. He has been in the county for a long time, and he also knows that King Tianyun is a good man, and he also knows how much the Jinjiawi sacrificed to protect the local people. But he still confirmed with Yi Luyun first, "Are you sure you want to use the right to use the purple card once?" "I'm sure." Yi Luyun replied without hesitation. "Okay. It stands to reason that every use of power is only to help distinguished guests get out of trouble. But this time, since it is for the Golden Guards, I promise you to take action once." With that said, he walked straight towards Qianxia. Chapter 96 Tragic Victory. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qianxia didn't know what deal Yi Luyun made with the old man, but it was obvious that the old man came to kill him. Immediately shouted, "Is Wanbao Pavilion going to get involved?" "This is the grudge between the Zhou royal family and King Tianyun," that the old man said indifferently. "What grudges have nothing to do with our Wanbao Pavilion. I only know that our distinguished guests from Wanbao Pavilion just asked me to take action." Dignified guest. Qianxia glanced at Yi Luyun, not knowing why, but he still said, "I am an inner disciple of the Blood Demon sect." That the old man curled his lips disdainfully. "Even if you are the leader of the Blood Demon sect, we at Wanbao Pavilion will not look down upon you." As he said that, he slapped Qianxia with his palm. Yi Luyun didn't know the old man's true state, but the power of that palm was enough to move him. That palm seemed to carry the power of heaven and earth, pressing towards Qianxia as if the sky was falling. Qianxia looked horrified and fought back with all his strength, but was as weak as a leaf falling in the wind. With a boom, Qianxia was shot directly into the ground and turned into a meat pie. Calm Wei has been watching coldly. This old man's realm is higher than him, and he may have reached the late stage of the sea transformation realm, so he doesn't dare to take action rashly. At this moment, his pupils shrank instantly. Thinking something bad in his heart, he turned around and wanted to run away, but the old man didn't want to let him go, and slapped him away again. This Calm Wei was indeed much stronger than Qianxia, and he was only beaten until he vomited blood but did not die. "I am a disciple of the main campus of Xinggu Academy. Do you want to kill me too?" Hearing this, Yi Luyun was a little worried that the old man would let Calm Wei go and return to the mountain. The old man was indifferent. He immediately struck one after another until Kong Wei was completely beaten to pieces. Now that he has taken action, he will not let Kong Wei escape and look for opportunities to retaliate against him. Seeing this scene, Yi Luyun couldn't help but feel relieved. At the same time, I also remembered the ruthlessness of this old man. Then the old man nodded towards Yi Luyun and floated away. Yi Luyun bowed and thanked him. The golden armored guards on the field and the blood demon sect disciples on the opposite side were all staring blankly, unable to react for a moment. Yi Luyun hit the sword with a wave of his hand. Kill! He and Lei Ming attacked the blood demon cult disciples on the opposite side at the same time. King Tianyun and a group of golden armored guards immediately recovered and rushed towards the blood demon sect disciples. Lei Ming finally had a chance to take action. The originally small and cute pet beast suddenly swelled up like a hill, revealing its ferocious appearance. It exuded a terrifying and ferocious aura, and its whole body was shining with electric light. It clawed at as it went on. Several blood demon sect disciples could not resist it. This was the first time Yi Luyun saw her fighting in this form. Yi Luyun estimated that her current strength was almost the same as that of the first palace guard. It seems that the pills I have been taking these days have not been in vain. Yi Luyun felt relieved, no longer worried about her, and started to fight with all his strength. Without Xianxia, even if King Tianyun is injured, ordinary disciples of the 9th level of Xianyuan cannot stop his sword. These disciples of the blood demon sect were originally a piece of loose sand. As soon as Xianxia died, they immediately lost their fighting spirit and their actions were not unified. They were no match for the battle-hardened Jinjiawei. These people were immediately separated and surrounded by Jinjiawei. Most of the blood demon cult disciples were surrounded and killed by the golden armored guards, while a few escaped from the encirclement and scattered in all directions. In the end, the Jinjiawi turned defeat into victory, but they also paid a heavy price. After the war, King Tianyun took everyone back to the palace and asked people to settle Wei Zhen. Everyone's mood was extremely heavy. King Tianyun looked up to the sky and sighed. This sigh made everyone feel depressed. Then he made arrangements. Song Tao, take all the property of the palace and arrange for all the Jinjia guards to be transferred to the border area of Qitian dynasty. Soldiers who are unwilling to go should be dismissed on the spot. Yes. Song Tao said nothing and hurriedly went down to make arrangements. The Holy Sun stays, and everyone else should go back and prepare to evacuate. We can't stay in this county any longer, and the Zhou royal family will not let us go. That the others also agreed and retreated one after another. There were only a few of them left in the hall. After a moment of silence, Song Yi began to comfort King Tianyun, but King Tianyun smiled bitterly and shook his head. That's all, the matter is over, you don't need to say more. It's all my fault. If I hadn't publicized that Wei Zhen had broken through to the 9th level of true essence, I'm afraid I wouldn't have been able to recruit Kong Wei. It's all mine. Negligence. But I never expected that the Zhou dynasty would actually kill me. I have never had any thoughts of betrayal, but now that I am being forced to do so, I have to rebel even if I don't want to. After listening to King Tianyun's words, Yi Luyun and others suddenly realized why Kong Wei only targeted Wei Zhen. I'm afraid it had something to do with him becoming famous. It seems that when you have strength in the future, you have to hide it well and not expose it easily. Yi Luyun secretly told himself. After this turmoil, King Tianyun looked old and weak. He looked at the remaining people and said bitterly, although Wei Zhen has been abolished, the 3 quotas will not change. With your qualifications, as long as your performance is not too outstanding after entering the branch, Xiantian will not be able to arrive. I will lower my status and go out of my way to embarrass you, but there will definitely be no less bullying and difficulty from the people below. Now you are also faced with the choice of whether to enter the Holy Martial Academy or not. His voice sounded a little frustrated. He had no hope for the remaining few people. Even Yi Luyun always felt that his bloodline was not good enough, and he gave the choice to Yi Luyun and the others. Whatever choice they made, it didn't matter to him. He is just trying his best to finish what he should do. The 3 quotas remained unchanged, which had no impact on Yi Luyun. But for Li Mingxi, it was a mixed blessing. The remaining 4 saints fell into a brief silence. The next choice may affect their lives. Entering a powerful sect like the Xingwu Academy is undoubtedly everyone's yearning. It is a holy place for martial arts practice, but because they are disciples of King Tianyun, after entering the sect, they are destined to suffer more difficulties and suppression than others. They will have a harder time than other academy disciples. Of course it's more challenging. At this moment, Yi Luyun felt an unyielding fighting spirit in his heart. The road to martial arts is extremely difficult. It's the same everywhere. How can I let this difficulty stop me from moving forward? Then he raised his chest and raised his head confidently, took a step forward, and expressed his attitude. Entering a large sect like Xingwu Academy is equivalent to opening a whole new world. This opportunity is not available to everyone. I will never miss this opportunity. Yi Luyun said firmly. Song Yi also stood up resolutely and said, this opportunity is rare. I will not give up because of some difficulties. I am going to give it a try. Li Mengshi thought for a moment and then said, I won't give up either. Although I am a woman, I will not back down from the battle. Looks like I'm not the only one refusing to admit defeat. At least I'm not alone on this road. Yi Luyun couldn't help but feel secretly moved when he saw Song Yi and Li Mengshi resolutely making their choice. Chapter 97: A Difficult Choice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as Li Mengshi made the decision, Li Yuanqing completely lost the chance, and couldn't explain how he felt in his heart. 520 official website. There is both the disappointment of missed opportunities and the joy of not having to face threats. 3 places have been determined, namely Yi Luyun, Song Yi, and Li Mengshi. He is no match for these 3 people. King Tianyun took note of their performance. He could understand the young man's unwillingness to admit defeat. But there was no approval in his eyes. Instead he was very troubled, because he knows what kind of difficulties these teenagers will face in the academy. He was not optimistic about their future, he just couldn't bear to undermine their confidence. He knew that the higher-ups in the academy valued bloodline qualifications. Because the promoting effect of blood on the realm becomes more obvious in the later stages, people with weak bloodline have almost no chance of becoming a saint. So even if Yi Luyun has good talent, he doesn't think Yi Luyun can replace Wei Zhen. I am afraid that these children will not be able to enter the main campus of Xingwu Academy in the end. But that's fine, this way we won't have to face Saint Xiantian directly. Saint Xiantian is from the main hospital. Finally he nodded slowly. Since this is your own choice, I won't stop you. I have 3 test tokens and maps here. You can rush to the Xingwu Academy branch to take the test. I can't send you there now. As for the future, the way they go depends on their own luck. Yi Luyun, Song Yi, and Li Mengshi each collected a token, wrote down the map, and said goodbye to King Tianyun. Yi Luyun, come with me. King Tianyun sent the others away and took Yi Luyun to his study alone. Thank you so much for what happened today. All the members of the Golden Armor Guard and I owe you our lives. King Tianyun thanked Yi Luyun deeply. Yi Luyun said quickly, what did the prince say? I am also a member of the palace, and I happen to have a relationship with Tianbao Pavilion, so I should contribute to the palace. It's a pity that they came a little late. King Tianyun nodded appreciatively, and then explained to Yi Luyun, you must have roughly known about my holiday with the Zhou royal family. There is no need for me to say more. I am unwilling to accept that the king of Zhou took away my beloved woman, but I have no hope of revenge, so I place all my hopes on my disciples. Through Kong Wei's conversation with him, Yi Luyun had actually guessed why he spent so much effort cultivating talents. Your Majesty left me alone and mentioned these things. What's the purpose? Yi Luyun asked. He knew that King Tianyun suddenly told him these things, not just for him to listen to. King Tianyun did not hide anything from Yi Luyun and said directly to him, because I think your cultivation talent is stronger than Wei Zhen's. Although your qualifications are much worse, there may be a 10% chance that you can compete with Saint Xiantian in the future. Higher and lower. 10% chance. Or maybe. Yi Luyun laughed dumbly. Although Saint Xiantian is now at a higher level than him, King Tianyun's words are too exaggerated. It seems that King Tianyun is still looking down on him. There's nothing I can do about it, who allowed me to hide all the power of my bloodline. King Tianyun casually took out the ball crystal for testing blood from the bookshelf and handed it to Yi Luyan. At the same time, he took out some bloodline pills that he had bought from Wanbao Pavilion before and gave them to Yi Luyan. There is still some time on the way to the branch. If you take these bloodline pills, you may be able to improve a little. This test crystal ball is given to you for you to test at any time. Yi Luyan was not too excited. After taking the test crystal ball with a calm expression, he immediately used the power of bloodline, using a little more power of bloodline than last time. The color is bluer. King Tianyun was overjoyed when he saw it, and even his voice trembled with excitement. The last time I tested, I hit it a little bit. Yi Luyan explained. In fact, more than 25% of his bloodline has been awakened. King Tianyun nodded happily and asked, "Do you know what bloodline this is?" Yi Luyan shook his head. "I don't know what kind of bloodline it is. No one in the family has this kind of bloodline. His bloodline is that of the god of war, but he cannot tell it. Even if he said it, he probably wouldn't believe it." King Tianyun didn't delve into it. "Well, it's normal for a bloodline to awaken or mutate for special reasons. Although I don't know what bloodline you have, at least your bloodline qualifications won't be much different from Wei Zhen's." That at this moment, he also regretted having despised Yi Luyan before. If I had known earlier, I would have given him more resources. When King Tianyun was disappointed, he suddenly saw hope and had mixed feelings for a while. However, he quickly calmed down and warned Yi Luyan carefully, "Your qualifications are already average in the academy. If Xianxia finds out, it may be detrimental to you. There will be a test after entering the branch, and you will have to try your best to hide it when the time comes. Only after you find a powerful elder to become your master can you reveal the power of your bloodline. Even if Xianxia knows it by then, he won't come to the branch to trouble you." Yi Luyan nodded repeatedly and took the opportunity to ask a lot about the situation in the academy. King Tianyun also answered everything he knew and patiently explained it to him. After Yi Luyan heard this, he also yearned for this kind of sect world even more. It's a completely different world there, with better cultivation resources, techniques, and environment. There are many talents competing, and there are many tasks that can be exchanged for merit points. There are special halls and elders for elixirs, formations, weapon refining, etc. In short, it is a relatively complete place for martial arts training. Just hearing about it is enough to make Yi Luyan excited. Yi Luyan was glad that he did not choose to retreat. After entering the branch, you must first become an inner disciple as soon as possible. Most outer disciples do some miscellaneous things and are not taken seriously at all, let alone being trained by the academy. Sometimes 1 or 2 outer disciples die, and the academy does not ask. Hearing this, Yi Luyan felt a chill in his heart. This world of martial arts is really cruel. It seems to be the same everywhere. Become an inner disciple. Yi Luyan keeps this goal firmly in mind. King Tianyun continued, "If you enter the main hospital one day, you must find a backer in advance. Get the protection of an elder who is more powerful than Xiantian Saint. In that case, even if he finds a way to murder you secretly, it will be even more difficult." Yi Luyan kept all of King Tianyun's earnest warnings in mind. This is how he survives in the academy. It's a pity that we don't have time. You have to leave quickly. I will take the Jinjiawi to the border area between the Eastern Zhou dynasty and the Qitian dynasty for repairs. If you need it, you can come to me. King Tianyun said to Yi Luyan with some regret. Yi Luyan also knew that King Tianyun was placing his last hope on himself, so he agreed and said goodbye to the prince. Chapter 98 Leaving the Palace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Luyan took the ball crystal and returned to his residence first. //ncom, after returning, he couldn't wait to test it again. This time he unleashed all his bloodline power, wanting to see how far his current bloodline power could reach. Cyan, blue, yellow, orange. Seeing the color of the crystal stone changing rapidly to a higher level, Yi Luyan was also a little excited. It wasn't until Yi Luyan exploded all his bloodline power that the test crystal showed a deep red light, and even had a tendency to turn purple. Isn't red the highest level? There is also a purple level. Yi Luyun looked at the slightly purple color and couldn't help but be secretly surprised. It seems that King Tianyun doesn't know about this situation either. The Destiny King only knows of 5 color levels. He restrained his bloodline power, calmed down, and put the test crystal ball away. He finally knew how powerful his bloodline was. As expected of the bloodline of the God of War, I am afraid that no one in the Holy Martial Academy has a bloodline that is stronger than mine. After he knew this, he was even more confident in himself. He immediately stopped thinking about it and took the time to do some body training again. It's a pity that he still has one body training to reach the 5th level of his immortal hegemonic body. There is not enough time, so I can only practice on the road. That night, Song Yi and Li Mingxi did not practice much, but were busy preparing to leave. He exchanged all his military exploits for items. It was still dark the next day, and when Yi Luyun was about to leave, he wanted to call them, but found that they had already left, so he had to go on the road alone. In this way, the 3 of them left Tianyun County one after another in the dark and embarked on the road to the north branch of Xingwu Academy. Yi Luyun has a vulture to travel with him, so he is much faster. He expects to fly there in 2 days, so he was not in a hurry. Whenever he encountered valleys and dense forests with ferocious beasts on the way, he would stop to hunt the ferocious beasts and replenish his food source. On the 3rd day, he stopped training again and cultivated the immortal hegemonic body to the 5th level. I have been exercising frequently recently. Although it is very painful, the effect is still very significant. The body has been molded into a golden body without any flaw. Now he can fight against the 9th level of true energy with physical strength alone. His physical strength has far exceeded his realm. It's a pity that the two cannot be superimposed, otherwise his true combat power will be even more terrifying. But even if he stopped and walked, he still walked nearly 2/3 of the way. The remaining distance can be reached by a vulture in half a day. Yi Luyun still had 5 days, and he felt that he would have time anyway, so he put the vulture into the storage ring, used his movement skills, and flew towards the North District branch. He wanted to take the opportunity to hone his volley skills and understanding of space. He felt that he still had a lot of room for improvement. What's more, the volleying finger you created also requires an understanding of the power of space. When Yi Luyun used his volley technique, he could cross dozens of meters in one step, which was beyond the constraints of gravity when jumping, and when running at full speed, he could even feel the barriers and resistance in that space. Several times, he directly broke through the space barrier and suddenly appeared 100 meters away. It was as if he was traveling from room to room, piercing the walls all at once. Lei Ming was also squatting on his shoulders, holding his clothes tightly with her little paws, squinting her eyes, enjoying the feeling of Yi Luyun taking her flying. As Yi Luyun practiced, he once felt as if he had passed through several space barriers at once, and when he reappeared, he was already a mile away. This shocked even himself. Lei Ming's eyes widened in disbelief, and he whimpered with excitement. Yi Luyun grasped this feeling and ran around in the mountains and fields. Every time a figure appeared, the distance was about 1 mile. This effect is somewhat similar to the effect of using the escape talisman. Yi Luyun was practicing with great joy, and Lei Ming cheered him on from time to time. Yi Luyun and Lei Ming were having fun when suddenly a golden flame streaked across their heads several hundred meters high. Monster! Lei Ming raised his nose and sniffed, telling Yi Luyun with his spiritual consciousness. Yi Luyun was curious when suddenly his consciousness noticed that 2 strong men in the sea transformation realm were flying from the sky wearing blood-colored gowns. They also discovered Yi Luyun. One of them ignored him and hurriedly chased after him. The other person stopped, and a divine attack rushed straight towards his sea of consciousness. Then he turned around to catch up with his companions who had gone away. Yi Luyun was unable to dodge the attack from the powerful spirit of the sea transformation realm, and he did not need to dodge. The 10,000 gods' order in the sea of consciousness directly transformed that divine consciousness into nourishment for Yi Luyun's soul. The martial cultivator who released his spiritual consciousness to attack suffered a backlash, spat out a mouthful of blood, and fell from the air. Yi Luyun did not hesitate and came to the man's side in a flash, directly stabbing his chi with one finger. The man was caught off guard. First, he didn't expect that a 4th-level martial artist would counterattack his spiritual attack. Second, he didn't expect that Yi Luyun would suddenly appear next to him. Yi Luyan directly pierced the sea of qi with one finger, and his true energy was leaked. Yi Luyan kept poking at his shoulders and legs with several fingers, turning him into a complete useless person. This man wanted to kill him, so Yi Luyan naturally took action without mercy. Then he asked, "Why do you want to kill me?" "Stop talking nonsense, I've been careless, just admit defeat." The man was very tough, which was a bit surprising to Yi Luyan. He immediately used the Phantom Eye technique. After finally catching a living master of the Sea Transformation realm, he had to test how effective his Phantom Pupil technique was on the martial arts of the Sea Transformation realm. In an instant, the man's soul was pulled into the purple electric cage built by Yi Luyan's own illusion, and then he was whipped with the purple electric whip. After 2 hours in the spirit world, he was so weak that he no longer had the strength to speak. Yi Luyan withdrew the magic eye technique and found that the man was already dying after just one breath. Then, he used the Phantom Eye technique to search that person's memory. Then he slapped the person to death, threw him into the storage ring, and handed it over to the vulture. I didn't expect. One of the inner disciples of the blood demon religion Sea realm fell into my hands. Let's just collect some interest from the Jinjiawi. Then the golden flame is transformed by the golden crow. Let's go after it and see, can you get that golden crow? Yi Luyan said with a smile. Then he asked Lei Ming, can you catch up with the golden crow just by smell? So that golden light is the golden crow. No wonder the smell of flames is so strong. No problem, just chase after it, I will show you the way. Lei Ming replied. Okay. Yi Luyan agreed, then used the volleying technique to chase the golden crow in the direction it flew away. Not long after they left, more than a dozen blood-clothed disciples from the 9th level of true essence passed by and chased in the direction of Yi Luyan. Yi Luyan's consciousness also discovered them. But they were only at the 9th level of the true essence and could not fly in the air. No matter how fast they ran, Yi Luyan soon left them far away. Chapter 99 Golden Crow Holy Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lei Ming's sense of smell was very sensitive and he could point out the direction to Yi Luyan in advance every time, so he quickly chased him to a valley. His consciousness had already discovered the golden crow and the blood demon sect disciple, so he didn't get close, but watched from a distance. Jinwu was blocked in the valley by the Sea Transformation Realm disciple, and was in a stalemate with that disciple. Yi Luyan had searched for information from the memory of the disciple just now. The disciple of the blood demon sect in front of him was at the 3rd level of Sea Transformation. He was no match and could only wait for the opportunity from a distance. I saw that the golden crow tried to rush out many times, but was forced back by the man's palm. The golden crow is injured, and his strength is even worse, otherwise that person would not be his match. Lei Ming used his spiritual consciousness to communicate with Yi Luyan to judge the situation of the golden crow. It can compete with the 3 levels of Hua Hai without saving 1 out of 10. How strong would it have been in its heyday? Yi Luyan asked. At least it's in the Yuan Dan realm. It's not up to you to make the decision anyway. This is the perfect opportunity. You see, it can't hold on to its transformation, and it will be knocked back to its original form soon. Lei Ming obviously knows more about beasts. Yi Luyan also discovered that the golden crow had gradually faded, as if it was about to turn into a ball of flame. However, it became even angrier because of this, and instead of looking for opportunities to escape, it directly attacked the blood demon cult disciple. It roared angrily, and flames all over its body surged out, and the disciples on the opposite side could only barely resist. After Yi Luyan saw it, he wanted to sneak attack on the blood demon cult disciple, but Lei Ming grabbed his arm and stopped him. Not now. Even if you attack him secretly, you won't be able to defeat the golden crow. Trust me, just wait and see the fun. This golden crow still has the strongest attack. Yi Luyan thought of the strange spirit in thunder, so he continued to wait patiently. Not long after, the golden crow seemed like it couldn't hold on any longer, and the flames became weaker and weaker. The disciple of the blood demon sect was overjoyed and attacked with all his strength, compressing the flames smaller and smaller, and the people kept approaching the golden crow. Finally, the golden crow let out a cry, revealing endless hatred and helplessness, and turned into a ball of flame, burning in the air. The man smiled proudly and looked closer to the flames. Suddenly, flames burst out, covering the entire area within 10 feet. Now, attack that person. Lei Ming reminded. Yi Luyun immediately dodged and rushed towards the valley. In the valley, the man also rushed out of the ring of fire wailing, his whole body already burned. At this time, Yi Luyun felt that he punched the man into the ring of fire again. The man had almost no resistance and had tried his best to escape. At this moment, he was beaten back by Yi Luyun, and he could no longer resist the burning of the flames, and was directly turned into ashes. Then, the golden crow fire gradually converged and turned into a palm-sized ball, slowly floating towards Yi Luyun. You are so lucky. It thanks you for avenging it and allowing you to refine it. Otherwise, if someone else gets it, it will also suffer the same fate of being refined. Lei Ming saw Yi Luyun trying to avoid the flames. Quickly reminded him. Ah. Refining? How to refine? Yi Luyun asked in surprise. He knew that these people were chasing the golden crow in order to refine it, but he didn't know how to refine it. What a fool! Wrap it with true essence, then absorb it into the sea of air, and let it merge with the true essence. Lei Ming said disdainfully. Yi Luyun did as he was told, and indeed he absorbed the golden crow flame into the Qi Sea, and then let it merge with the true essence. This flame has autonomous consciousness and actively cooperates with his refining. Soon he refined it a little. However, Yi Luyun's consciousness discovered that other disciples of the blood demon sect were about to come. So he had no choice but to leave here on a vulture, find a secluded mountain range far away, dig a cave and hide in it for refining. 2 days later, this golden crow flame was finally fully controlled by Yi Luyun and could be used like true energy. The autonomous consciousness of the golden crow flame also dissipated. Yi Luyun felt the current true essence. The temperature of this golden crow flame was more than 10 times higher than the temperature of his original true fire, which showed how powerful this flame was. Of course. The golden crow is a holy fire that can burn everything in the world. You got a big deal this time. I have a share of the credit for this. You want to reward me with barbecue? Sensing Yi Luyun's thoughts, Lei Ming immediately responded. I didn't expect that I would get such a big bargain. Yi Luyun said with a smile. The golden crow holy fire? Well, I'll try its power first. Yi Luyun immediately took out the iron block that his aunt had given him before, took out the alchemy furnace as a furnace, and began to refine the iron block. He wanted to refine this piece of iron into a knife before, but no matter how he refined it, it had no effect, and he didn't know what material it was made of. After he cultivated the true fire, he also tried it once, but the effect was not obvious. Unexpectedly, after trying it this time, it softened a little quickly. He felt happy and continued to increase his strength. The golden crow holy fire spurted out, and he saw the iron blocks melting away bit by bit. After half a day, he stopped to rest for a while and took a Yuanning Dan to restore his true energy. This process of consumption and replenishment makes the golden crow holy fire and its true essence more closely combined. The next refining speed will be faster. 1 day later, Yi Luyun finally refined all the iron blocks. Then, he took out the mysterious black stone that he had obtained during the suppression of bandits in Xianxia village. He always felt that this black stone had a mysterious power, but he couldn't tell what kind of power it was. However, he felt that refining the properties of the stone into the knife should enhance the attack, so, he also refined the stone. Then the two liquids were fused, and then the power of divine consciousness was used to shape it into the shape of a knife. Then he input the power of thunder and the fire source of the golden crow holy fire into it with great expectation to enhance the attack power of the knife. Lei Ming was still helping, inputting a little thunder power, but when it came to the last shaping step, we encountered a problem. The knife hasn't taken shape yet, and I don't know why, so Yi Luyun stopped and searched for information about weapon refining in the Sea of Consciousness. Finally, he decided to follow an ancient method of refining weapons and incorporate his own blood and soul to give it another try. According to records, adding blood can speed up fusion, and adding soul can make the refined artifact recognize its owner. He input a ray of divine consciousness, and then dropped in a few drops of blood. There was no reaction at first, but after all of them were integrated, the effect was unexpectedly good. Soon the knife began to solidify and take shape. And in a daze, he felt that the knife was cheering and it was particularly close to him. Lei Ming's eyes twitched. Using the power of soul and blood to refine a sword. As you can imagine, you don't take your own blood seriously. That Lei Ming had felt the power of Yi Liuyan's bloodline during his battle and had long known that his bloodline was very powerful. Even every time she felt the bloodline power, she felt like she wanted to worship him. Although she didn't know that it was the bloodline of the god of war, she also knew that the power of that bloodline was extraordinary. So she followed Yi Liuyan more firmly. Yi Liuyan ignored her words, as long as the knife could be formed, otherwise all the previous efforts would be in vain. Chapter 100 Demon Slaying Sword. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But after the sword was made, Yi Liuyan was stunned because this sword had no grade. Even a martial artist can't use a sword with no grade. He originally thought that he could at least refine a top Xian level 1. // that he angrily threw the knife against the wall of the cave next to him. To his surprise, the knife was inserted directly into the ground, and it was inserted into the handle of the knife at once. His and Lei Ming's eyes immediately widened. He took out the knife and tested it repeatedly on the rock wall. Whether it was chopping or directly piercing, the rock was like tofu and there was almost no resistance. Yi Liuyan took out his dragon-slaying sword and tried it, and found that the dragon-slaying sword required force. As for the sword he had just refined, after seeing the dragon-slaying sword, it immediately exuded a fighting spirit. He tried to cut each other with two knives, but the newly made knife cut through the dragon in one swish like cutting tofu. Yi Liuyan exclaimed, "This is a precious sword. But why doesn't it have a grade?" "You don't care what grade it is, as long as it's easy to use. Hurry up and give the knife a name." Of course Lei Ming doesn't know how to refine weapons, she only knows that this knife is very powerful. "Let's call it Demon Slayer." Yi Liuyan shouted, giving him the mission given to him by the great power of the 10,000 gods order. Alien invasion, protect the ancient world. Demon slaying. It sounds good. Lei Ming thought about it and said, "Yes, I will use him to slay demons and command the world." Yi Liuyan said with high spirits, holding up the knife, but Lei Ming jumped in front of him, pinched his round waist with his claws, and said angrily, "You can kill demons, but you can't." Yi Liuyan laughed and immediately changed his words, "Indeed, slaying demons won't work. Then change it to slaying evil spirits and commanding the world." That Lei Ming nodded with satisfaction. "That's pretty much it. I'm hungry. Hurry up and roast the meat for me. You haven't rewarded me yet for the Golden Crow holy fire." "Okay, let's grill the meat right away." Yi Liuyan was very excited after getting the demon-slaying sword. "I don't care about the requirements of Lei Ming, a foodie." He immediately took out a lot of animal meat and grilled it. After they had eaten and drank enough, they walked out of the cave. Yi Liuyan couldn't help but want to try the knife. So he took out the demon slaughter and slashed towards the cave. "Open the mountain." That while drawing out the knife, he shouted loudly. His sword intention was extremely domineering, and coupled with the sharpness of the sword itself and the power of lightning and fire contained in it, he could directly destroy the entire cave with one strike. A ferocious ravine was carved into the mountain wall, nearly 10 feet deep. Moreover, the power of flames and thunder and lightning inside burned the rocks black. Yi Liuyan and Lei Ming, one person and one beast, stood there with their mouths wide open, looking dumbfounded. After a long while, Lei Ming scratched Yi Liuyan's shoulder with his claws. "This sword of yours is definitely comparable to the blow of a strong man from the sea transformation realm." That Yi Liuyan also nodded deeply. The power of this knife was beyond his imagination. He knew it must be the unknown iron block or the mysterious black stone. He would never be able to make such a powerful blow on his own. The two of them admired Yi Liuyan's masterpiece for a while, then released their vultures and rushed to the North Branch. Yi Liuyan was in a state of excitement along the way and couldn't calm down to practice. He took out the knife and touched it from time to time. He had already passed the map to the vulture with his spiritual consciousness. The vulture also signed an equal contract with him again to facilitate contact and transfer of information, so he doesn't need to worry about rushing. Half a day later, the vulture landed outside the North Branch. since he was new here and didn't know much about the rules of the academy, Yi Luyan persuaded Lei Ming to enter the storage ring. Then he walked towards the entrance of the branch. This is the boundary of the branch, and he no longer worries about being hunted down by the Zhou dynasty. Even the great Zhou dynasty would not dare to mess with such a large sect. Not only don't they dare to offend, but they also want to curry favor with the characters here. For this kind of large sect, the dynasty is just a secular ruling institution. They can change the entire country by sending any elder there. Therefore, each dynasty has inextricable ties with the major sects and sends its own children to the academy for training so that they can contribute to the family in the future. Saint Xiantian was actually a family disciple sent to the main campus of Xingwu Academy by the Zhou dynasty for training. It's just that he cultivated to the Yuan Dan realm and became an elder, but to say that as an elder he can cover the sky with one hand, he is still far behind in the academy. And even if he is the elder of the main hospital, he can't reach out to the branch hospital. King Tianyun had told Yi Luyan these things, so he generally knew what was going on. He also knew that at the beginning, he couldn't stand up to such a big shot. Outside the north branch of Xingwu Academy, there is an endless abyss, and the abyss is shrouded in fog. The abyss and fog are like a huge black hole appearing out of thin air, as if it can swallow everything, and it is daunting to see. Yi Luyan swept into the fog with his phantom pupils and found countless formations arranged in the fog. He didn't study much formations, but he also knew that with so many formations, once he got into one by mistake, it would be difficult to get out. At least he doesn't have that ability currently. He looked through the fog to the other side, and saw only an isolated area of mountains inside the fog, with all kinds of streams and lakes in the mountains. There are various buildings up and down the mountain, and the academy disciples are active everywhere. This branch is so big, how many people live in it? Yi Luyan was secretly surprised. The entire branch is much larger than the county town. Yi Luyan circled the abyss and found the entrance to the academy. There is a rocky road several miles wide in front of the entrance, which is the same as the outside world. At this time, the mountain gate was wide open. At the mountain gate, there was an inner disciple of the sea transformation realm and 6 disciples of the 9th level of true essence on duty. What a majesty! Guarding the gates of the sea transformation realm and the 9th level of true essence. In Tianyun County, they are all the kings and palace guards. Yi Luyan kept sighing in his heart. When he approached the guards, he took the initiative to show the token. The guards all knew that the college was recruiting students in the past 2 days, so without saying a word, they sent someone to lead Yi Luyan towards the residence where they were taking the entry test. Yi Luyan was curious about everything he looked at along the way and asked questions, but the guard ignored him at all. Yi Luyan's level is too low, and he looks like a country bumpkin who has never seen the world. The guard was sure that he came from some small town and was just a big boy. This kind of person will basically be kicked out of the academy after competing. So the guard didn't even bother to talk to him. After taking him to the station, he registered him, arranged a place to stay, told him some rules, and then left. Yi Luyan released his consciousness and scanned the entire area where test candidates were stationed, but did not find Song Yi or Li Mengxi. It seems they haven't arrived yet. I wonder if there will be any danger on the road. However, he discovered that there were already more than 200 people living here, all of them young people under the age of 20, the youngest even only 12 or 13 years old. Xingwu Academy only recruits disciples under the age of 20, and will no longer admit those who are over the age.